For the last couple of hours, I have been torturing myself trying to figure out Shell and what he wants to do and how I want to play him in Shape of Dreams. I definitely think he's probably the most unique character in terms of the way that he plays and what he wants you to do. When they say that he's a very hard character, they're not necessarily wrong. The only other one that I think is considered very hard is Orena. And I disagree. I think Orena's maybe like hard, if not medium. I think it's just the only reason she's considered hard is because you're balancing your health, and it's not necessarily mechanically hard, but just don't get hit-isms, and depending on what your difficulty you're playing on, she's not even that hard. I think he's a step above that. I think he actually deserves very hard, only because he feels a little bit limited. Now, I'm not here to slander Shell, but I am here to say that so far he's one of my least favorite characters, only because I think he suffers from a problem that few of the other characters truly do. I think Yubar is the only other one that has a similar issue to this. I feel like when you very first unlock Shell, he's particularly weak. I don't think he's necessarily amazingly strong. Characters like Bismuth and Mist and Vesper, for example, these guys can come, even Orena, these guys can come out the gate swinging with their default abilities, with an incomplete talent tree, just like, you know, one or two of these a piece, and you can go far and do well. With Shell, he very much benefits from a lot of his own unique talents, and I think a big reason for that is they needed a way to make him feel like he's evolving, because he doesn't get other abilities. You only get one typical normal ability and his ultimate chargeable ability, and passive and dodge. That's it. So how do you make Shell feel like he's getting stronger and you're getting new things to mess with him? If he doesn't unlock new abilities, the answer is give him all of these different custom, specific to him, talents, perks, whatever you want to call them, and slot them into his tree. He's very much offensive focused. As you can see, he's got a ton of reds, he's got a little bit of green, he's got barely any imagination at all. He's a puppet, who cares? He's not here to think, he's here to swing sword and do damage. Now, he does have a very unique mechanic, and I'll get into that when we start a run, but I first need to try and draw a parallel for you here, because I've leveled him up to 23. The goal is to get to 30, 35, because I'm kidding you not, I've heard this anecdotal evidence from a lot of people who've been playing the game so far and have gotten Shell high level and started from nothing. A lot of them agree that when he hits 30 and unlocks some of his late game talents over here, and even, you know, some of the ones over here, like the level 25 one, Control Madness, that he kind of changes as a character and gets a lot better. So I want to give you an example of him as a default, and then him with some of his customs, which is why there's an empty slot over there, because otherwise I would have Flow of Energy equipped. For the most part, all of these are generic upgrades, generic things that are slotted in here. There are some that aren't slotted in right now. The only ones that are his specific is his healing received is reduced, but whenever he crits an enemy, and he does do a lot of crits, he will do 30% more damage as effectively a ticking bleed over 2 seconds. It's effectively 30% more damage on a critical strike. It's just nice, and he has a lot of this because he gets critical strike damage just coming out the ass. All he is about is landing crits, 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 so boosting his crit damage, which I've done even more of over here. He's got 54% critical strike damage as well as extra damage on his crits. I've even given him crit chance, although he doesn't really need it, to be fair. I could replace it with something else. I just don't have anything else to give him. Let's get into a run, and I'm going to quickly explain his mechanics before I inevitably leave the run and go put on a different ability and show you just how dramatic his playstyle can change when he starts unlocking his custom abilities. Now, this is going to take a minute. This one might be a little bit longer because, like I said, this guy's a little bit more involved and is actually a bit of a pain in the ass. So, his ability will transform. He has Laceration. Every time you do a basic attack, it changes from red to blue. Don't read the rest. Just, I want you to understand, every time you click your basic attack, that ability is changing from red to blue. Also notice that his basic swing is kind of slow. Like, I'm holding the button in. This actually is just as fast as he swings. He does not swing any faster than this. And when he does swing, you see how he kind of slows down a little bit. He pauses for a second as he pulls back and does his slash. That can get you hit quite a lot. Funny thing, the best way that I've found to play Shell is to completely not end up in a situation where you're using his basic attack almost at all. That is because his different abilities react differently depending on which color you have. So red, you will dash forward, you will do some damage. Whenever you hit an enemy, you will get a cooldown reduction, which is very good. We like red stance. It looks like this. Pow! Look at that. It's very nice. And if I slash, it's got a special shing sound, and that's because of his passive. Ignore the top part of the passive. Instead of receiving attack speed, he gets damage every 0.5 speed. He gets an extra 1 point. Well, he gets 1.5 attack for every 1% speed. As you upgrade this passive, it goes up 0.1 at a time. So you can get to the point where it's a 1-to-1 trade, where he gets 1 attack per percent of speed, and then get even higher than that. I have tried a run or two where I've dumped into this excessively to try and get to 2.0, so that if I pick up, say, a 20% attack speed boost, it's 40 attack. It's bad. I don't like it. I don't like doing that. I like to ignore this passive almost exclusively, except for the last sentence here. Dash or teleport, your next basic is a crit. So if I dash, that's a critical hit, and those little 1 ticks over there are the extra 2 seconds of bleed coming after. Now you might be wondering, what's his blue? So his blue is an invulnerable iframe leap in the air AoE slash that hits all nearby enemies. That's it. That's what it does. It doesn't interact with his critical strikes at all. It's just an iframe move that happens to AoE. It's his most reliable AoE. Let me get into an actual room, and I'll show you this in motion. So every time I dodge, you'll see my passive light up. Crit. Dodge. Crit. Dash through. Crit. Dodge. Crit. And this is kind of the workflow. And as you can see, after I dash and my critical cut comes out, it changes the color. So if I wanted to do my blue or my reds, I need to be dashing and slashing almost like a dance. And this is where the character's complication comes in, because when you get, 10 enemies on the screen all AoEing everywhere, it can get a little bit difficult to micromanage all of his rotation stuff. The AoE on this is very nice though. I don't like that the blue doesn't interact with his critical mechanic, but that's what the red is there for. I think 9 out of 10 times most people that I've spoken to seem to favor always doing red as much as possible, because doing blue, while useful for the AoE, just it doesn't synergize that much. And it's good if you've got like a bunch of little enemies, but other than that, it also has mobility and people like being able to use it to move around. If you don't do a basic attack, it'll just never change color, but you need to do basic attacks to benefit from the crits. So because he gets guaranteed crits every time he moves with either a dash or any ability, so there are several abilities in the game that he can get that count as dash or teleport type moves. So immediately you're probably thinking, right, so I want to get a whole bunch of dash and teleport abilities, and you can. I've done runs where I've actually sold my ultimate and I've put all dash abilities in here. So dash crit, dash crit, dash crit, dash crit, dash crit, dash crit, and you're just rotating all of these dashes and crits. It feels kind of nice. If you can find a way of getting some sustain in your build, that's the big issue, is that he becomes a bit of a glass cannon. I'm having a hard time in a lot of my runs keeping him alive, because even though he doesn't have particularly low health, I find that one of the more difficult things to balance in your runs is between using your dash offensively to go in and land crits, and defensively to not get hit by an enemy attack. And so that's probably why you're better off getting at least 1, if not 2, extra dash abilities. Save your dash for defensive measures against boss fights for the most part, and rely on your skills to feed into your crits. A lot of people are going to want to go in and be dash crit, dash crit. You've just used both dashes, the boss is going to do an attack and hit you. Unless you've got some nice abilities with iframes or really heavy mobility, you're probably going to get screwed. Now, I'm going to pull out to the lobby. I've kind of given you a broad idea. I'm going to show you the ultimate. Don't worry, the ultimate is its own can of worms. But I'm going to give you an idea about how much that one mechanic changes thanks to just something like flow of energy. So laceration, that is his normal skill over here. It has red and blue. It's always called laceration. The cooldown is increased by 1 second. It sucks, doesn't matter. But if you do it in red form, it gives him 1 charge of his dash back. And immediately you can see why that might be kind of good, because you can open up a fight by doing a dash slash to get to red, and then do red slash into a crit, and then you've got your other dash back. So you can do dodge slash, lacerate slash, dodge slash, dodge slash. You get 3 dodges by doing this. Now, he doesn't have something like what Mist does in his mobility tree where he gets a ton of extra charges. Instead, in his green tree, he gets things like his cooldown increasing, but the maximum charges goes up by 1, and the distance traveled increases as well. I've messed around with some of these. Distance traveled can be a problem because his dodge goes so far, you end up just disappearing from where the enemy is, and you have to move back in and hit them, and it's a bit annoying. If you take this, take 1 stack of it. Like, you can mess with this, but take 1 so that you only get a 10% increase, because the cooldown increase and the maximum of charges doesn't change. Upgrading this more than once will just give you more distance traveled. If you like going far with your dodge, great. If you want to be able to like dodge cut, dodge cut, dodge cut, and dance around an enemy in the middle, this might send you too far in either direction and make it kind of clunky. Alternatively, the cooldown is increased by 1 second, and when you have no flash step charges and you kill an enemy, the cooldown is dramatically reduced. This is especially nice in oh shit situations, and this is why I want to come in here and show you how these things change. That's why I've got a ton of dust up here. I've been resetting stuff. So let's take this. What we got? Dodge cooldown reduction? Nah. Increase health when I level up. That's pretty good. Healing and barrier amounts increased. I did this to compensate for my healing reduction over here, but I can't really... You can't. You just have to kind of live with it and cope and seethe and deal. I might even get rid of this because I do want to put this on and show you how this can work as well. And we'll put that over here. When you take fatal damage, you become invulnerable, but you lose max health. It's fine. And then you have other ones over here. More things. Killing an enemy or performing a basic attack on a boss. Flash step cooldown reduced. This is what I mean. You want to level him up to at least 30 plus because all of these help fix problems. He becomes very dash hungry, and as you can see, a lot of these are built on fixing his dashes, and over here a lot of his high-end damage options become more apparent. So damage dealt to low health enemies, he's got an execute mechanic. Ignore that, don't worry about it. Max health reduced some more, even more glass cannon. Attack speed goes up, and his basic attack deals dark damage. Remember, his attack speed becomes attack damage, but I ignore this. I prefer to ignore it and pretend it doesn't exist. Some people are going to like me for saying that, some will loathe me for saying that. How you want to mess with this passive is up to you. I don't like dumping like 5 to 7 to 10 points into this passive just so I can always choose attack speed from my options to get a little bit of extra damage. Those like 10 extra points dumped could go into an ability that helps me one-shot an enemy, or into a secondary ability so I'm not just focusing on lacerate and a passive. It becomes very difficult to balance what abilities you've got, so I avoid attack speed everywhere. It makes my life easier because I don't have to worry about taking this. The cooldown of your dash and teleport abilities just reduced by 30% flat. It's amazing. Gain attack damage and attack speed when you level up. Now, the attack damage thing is what I'm looking for. Speed, I don't care about, but we've already got one over here where we get 3.5 attack damage from reaching 5, 10, 15, and 20. On average, I'm breaking 15, but I don't really try and get to level 20 in my runs. I just don't do enough killing in enough rooms to justify that. So on average, I'm getting 3 benefits to that, and I'm getting like, what's that, 11, 12 extra attack. This is 3 attack each time we get from 5, 10, 15, the same as this. It's a little bit less, but basically doubling this effect. Plus you're getting attack speed, and even at 0.5 you're getting a little bit of extra, so it's basically the same thing times 2. Very good damage. And then you come over here, and the rest of his lacerate ones, if you lacerate a single target, like a boss fight, you get a cooldown reduction. Very nice. Lacerate's cooldown is reduced by 30%, and blue, specifically the blue one, it does its attack faster, but no invulnerability. For some people, this is good. For some, it's not. I like the invulnerability, but then again, I focus almost exclusively on red form slashing as much as I can. I will use blue here and there, but red is kind of my go-to. All of the ones that affect his ultimate, will show the ultimate when I get into a run, but I don't use any of them. I'm waiting for level 25. I don't like his ult. Long story short, he activates his ult, and it stays active for 10 seconds. While it's active, you can't use any other memories. You're just in an install mode. He only swings his attacks. Your attack damage is increased by 30%, that's nice. Your range is increased, that's nice. He still swings regularly, but he also fires out like a blade beam projectile that does skill-based damage, ability damage, magic damage. You can do at most 1.5 basic attacks per second while it's active, and the rate is not affected by attack speed effects. So speed is just... this is why I don't take attack speed for anything, it doesn't matter, and I have to invest too much in this. The problem I have with his ultimate is it stops you from getting access to any of his other abilities. So there are times when an enemy might be doing a big dangerous attack and you want to use blue form to iframe it, or use red form as a pseudo dash to maneuver you, or any of your other goddamn abilities. The problem with this ult is it locks you out of doing anything else for a full 10 seconds, and worst case scenario, you've taken the Chained Bloodlust one, which every time your Annihilation stance attacks damage an enemy, it increases the duration by 0.2 seconds. For clearing just rooms of weak enemies, this is fine. But if you've got, you know, mini-boss enemies, or you're in an actual boss fight and you're hitting him and you're elongating this duration to like 15 plus seconds, you might just die because you're going to run out of dashes. That's why you need all of these dash-centric talents to make this a little bit better. Over here, the Annihilation stance no longer fires out energy attacks, which to me isn't even a negative because this is legit the only thing in his kit that has ability or skill-based damage. He's just all raw physical otherwise. I don't know why this is in here doing magic damage. His attacks are 50% more frequent. Just, if you're going to use his ult, I'd use this. Because I don't care about the ability damage, I care about hitting hard with physical. This last one is a dramatic change to this. His ultimate is no longer an ult, it's a regular 14-second cooldown ability. He can activate the form. The damage is reduced by 40%, but that's fine. It's not an ultimate anymore. The stance lasts for 4 seconds, and he can use other memories while it's active. So he just gets another legit ability that he gets to use, the same as anyone else. And let's you know what? Let's get in here. Did I upgrade that all the way? No, we leave that at 1. Let's get all the way out here and actually start a run. I apologize again for how long this beginning part... It says 17 minutes over here. If I'm going to leave a timestamp, for those who want to skip the over-explanation of how Shell works and why he's a little bit clunky to me, I might try and timestamp where the run begins legit for those who already know everything and want to just skip straight to the run. Hello and hi and welcome if you're one of the guys skipping straight to this part. Don't worry, you didn't miss much, just me kind of griping about why Shell, despite the fact that he's a cool character, is a little bit of a weirdo and a little bit difficult. Now, with the different perk, you'll see here, I'm going to dash, slash, I got my red, dash, slash, I got my charges back, dash, slash, and we just keep dashing and slashing. You have to remember, you have to remember, out the gate, he normally only has 2 dashes and none of the other synergy with that red dash slash. None whatsoever. Let's do a blue. I like doing blues. Dash, cut him. Dash, cut him. Do it, my guy. Do it. I'm gonna take this while I'm actively fighting. Get myself some health. Break that. What do we got over here? Anything that's gonna help me with my... I mean, Umbral Edge is okay. Mystic Dagger's kind of funny. I'll take Umbral for now. It doesn't really... It's not gonna make or break anything, dude. It's just gonna exist. I might ult in the next room to show you the ultimate. Warp space. Let's pop the ult. Here's the ult. And it looks good. It looks really nice, right? It looks sick. It looks like, damn. Why don't you like it, Beelz? And don't get me wrong, it's fun, but it's just a little bit on the side of the fence. I swear to God, this thing that's displacing me, normally it doesn't affect me I almost never notice it, but I'm noticing it now. I'm noticing, my guy, I'm noticing. Beam of Light, it's a funny meme, let's rotate those around. Have you ever run into the situation, I don't know if it's just me, I often associate certain abilities on certain buttons, and so I'll almost always put the same abilities on the same button, just for muscle memory's sake. Like, my beam is always on E, if I get the Beam of Light. That's just the way it works for me, I just always put it on that button. Let's do this out of order a little bit. I want to dash at a dude straight away. Where are they? I was gonna say, you guys are taking your time. You get a blue in there. I was hoping the blue would one-shot, but it is not. If you're taking the perk that gives your basic attacks that extra 2 seconds of of 30% damage boost. It's another reason to incentivize you to focus on always using Lacerate on red, so that you do get that extra guaranteed crit. And it also helps break these things a bit quicker because he does just attack a little bit slow. You'll notice, if you're noticing, I'm rarely ever just standing still doing, like, basic attacks. I am, however, occasionally going for blues on the little spiders just to get them out of the way, to be fair, but it's whatever, dude. See, right here, I can do it and get a bunch of them out of the way. Zip, zap, zip-a-da-bap. I've also found that Shell is so far the hardest character for me to get a consistent win on in harder difficulties. I'm coming into a normal difficulty just so because I know that this run will, either way, regardless of circumstance, have the best chance at surviving to show you properly what this guy can do. I've beaten hard mode runs with him before. It's just, they're very dependent on getting stuff. I think he benefits probably the most from the deja vu system, where you get to like buy out an ability or some essences before a run starts. It helps a lot. I am happy to say that he also benefits quite a lot from the deja vu essence. If you can get deja vu on his Lacerate, it starts to feel quite amazing. He gets really good benefits from that. Really good benefits. Now, I'm not gonna espouse to be the greatest Shell player, far and away from it. I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm talking a big game as to why I don't like this guy, and chances are I'm going to also make the mistake of making him look bad, and people are gonna say, well, of course you don't like him, Beelz, you're not playing him very right or very well or whatever. And it's like, that's fair. That is fair. I'm not gonna be playing him you know what? I hate wasting one of these on a level up from 0 to 1 at the start of a run, so I might get some memory haste. And what we have over here? Level, quality, attack damage. There we go. Like I said, I'm going to ignore leveling up this passive. It's just my way of playing this guy. I know a lot of people like leveling up that passive. I've tried to death. I have tried to death to make it work. I don't like it. You see how much burst he can do, though? He can do some insanely competent burst. It feels nice when you get to go in and just blow a dude up, you know? Got to get my red back. Look at this. It feels really good to go shing, shing, shing over and over again and do, like, lots of fun, cool combos and stuff. The problem is, he gets a lot of this as he levels up. He is a character who is very dependent on... Oh, it's a gift. Holy shit, it's a gift. This shop is cracked. Wow. Okay, so Shadow Walk is a dash move. That triggers our crit. Swift Slash is also a dash. It triggers our crit. And Virtue is in here. Damn. I need to sell everything and buy as much of this as I can, so we don't need this anymore. I don't need my ultimate. I'm serious. I'm selling this ultimate. I don't use it, dude. I don't like it. I don't use it. I don't want it. I think Swift Slash, I prefer Swift Slash over Shadow Walk. It's got a shorter cooldown. It's just easier to use. Although Shadow Walk is handy. Oh, I can get both. Wait, I thought I could only get one. No, we can get all of this. I wasn't sure how much money I had. Put that over there. Put that there. Put Virtue there. This is not a bad little start for us, which gets me concerned because it means that we might have this run fall apart very badly at some point, but hopefully not. So as you can see, if I use my abilities, my dashing ones, I still get my crit. And this is what we need. We need abilities that help us trigger the crits. I don't care. At this point, I just pick up gems and put them, just start dropping them in. And then later on, if I need to sell them or move things around, I'll take a look at, you know, more specifically what I get. In the meantime, it doesn't actually matter. Big AoE. Kill them. And then I'm going to waste a dash. You shouldn't waste your dashes. I had to get into the habit of, like, not doing that. And being more deliberate with walking from A to B, because I normally just spam my dashes to get to a location. Let's go in here and grab my free stuff. Why not, dude? Why not? That's it. Cool. Backpack. Free stuff. A little bit of hemo. That's okay. I'll take the hemo and break that. Head up into here. I didn't get to a well, did I? Not finding a well in the first area often makes me feel sad. Alright. I want to start on blue. Normally, if I don't have... Like, if I have the other setup where it's just basics, I'll start on red. And I'll do my best to use other abilities to burn my stuff down. But the idea is I want to start on blue. When the enemy does his first attack, I dodge, I slash, I get my crit, I'm on red. I do my red, which resets and gives me another charge of my dodge back, slash, get a crit. And then I have 3 dodges, and I've done my rotation on my lacerations. I have my other abilities left to use, and then I'm starting to like balance between, right, what ability do I have, what color am I on, how many dodges do I have left? It's a lot of micromanagement is the word that I would use to describe this guy. You can very easily fall into a trap of 3, 4, 5. Then I can do that to get in. Look at that, dude. You can very quickly and easily fall into a trap of spamming. And if you get stuck spamming, wow, I can use my right click to do that, and then we can do that, and he's dead. If you get stuck spamming and just you know, going absolutely ham, you know, you're like, I'm doing this, I'm doing, and I do it, and then, you will get some modicum of success from doing this. It's not a bad idea if a room is absolutely fucked. Let's be fair. Sometimes you just end up in rooms that are, whatever, dude, I'll spend it on that. I didn't want to. I wanted to get to a well and start dumping before that, but we've got abilities that we can put points into. My first 2, I'm going to focus on these 2 initially. Shadow Walk is nice, but it's mostly utility to get my crit. I'm not worried about the damage it deals. Spamming is fine, but you can, and if you're not careful, you will end up getting screwed over a little bit. You always want to have an option, and that's one of the hard parts for me, is if I do a run and I don't have options for my abilities, I get the big screw. Although, this is a really good example of what happens when you actually have the things that you need. Having 2 extra dash abilities makes this so much nicer. There you go. He's tagging me a little bit. The thing I want to have is some survivability, something to help me heal. And we do have the beam, but the beam is not synergy. Chomp, where you bite a dude, does count towards triggering this. Chomp would be ideal, or even the ice shield, just to have, you know, something. No, we could take this. That's effectively 7.5% more damage, but I'd rather get health. He's very, very squishy. Even though he has... I mean, screw it, dude. It's a slight upgrade. Even though he has decent base health, like characters like Bismuth have low health, right? He has decent health, but as you saw, he has things that reduces healing received, he has things that reduces max health. Pretend he's a squishy character. He's basically a glass cannon. Forget what you know about his health stat. Just pretend he's a squishy boy in a squishy world. I want you dying. I want you dying. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. He's doing stuff, dude. We're doing stuff with the boy. Notice how sometimes I'll just be cutting in between rooms to try and trigger the effects that I want to get onto the right color. Let me do some beam real quick, just to cleanse the palate of all of this Tom Weebery that we're doing. I'm going to coin the term Tom Weebery. We're weebing. Yep, sure, why not? We can do that. Because I have that gem and we're getting a 39% damage boost, I might just open with red at the start of a fight now. Just go in and red, dude. If we can use the red, make it dead. Yeah, that's juicy, dude. That's a big hit. Oh, I went to beam for a second there. I hit the wrong button. You didn't die? My brother. Let me beam you two real quick and get some health back. There we go. I can abuse my beam on little fragile, weak boys. Get some easy health back. Get some easy recovery. I can go to the lizard, I guess. I'd rather save my money for a shop for real, but, you know, we may as well dip in. If the lizard has, like, a treasure chest or something available. Plus, we always get, like, the free goodies just by coming here. It's nice. There we go. We got some dust. A mini Lacerda. I'm not going to end up getting the rest of these for a long time. I got those sunglasses and I got my mini mist. That's kind of all I care about. Like, maybe I'll get, like, the mini shell would look kind of cute, but I really... It's so much dust to spend on the cosmetics. I'd rather save for the talent tree. Speaking of... That's a lot of dust. I am just going to buy as many of those as I can. What do we have over here? Mass protection. Am I correct? I don't like this ability. Tell me if you like this ability. I don't like that it dissipates over 1.5. I'd rather it just go on, stay, and then like 2 or 3 seconds later it just disappears. The Frost Shield is so much nicer than that. I wish it was even half as good as the Frost Shield. It just doesn't feel as nice. Maybe I'm not getting it. You need to tell me if there's a gimmick to this that I don't understand. What is it with the barrier shield thing? Damn, that guy beating my ass. What don't I know? I just tried to do my blue and I don't think I had my cooldown back. Where's a fella? Here, have this. Get beamed for a second, idiot. Get blued. We're not done yet, are we? Nope. Big crits. Big crits. Like I said, you want to get as much of that crit damage in you as possible. Once again, this is 10 attack. Give me the health instead. Give me the health instead. I'm avoiding speed like the plague. Because it is a plague. I want to get these two leveled up pretty evenly. This thing does do pretty decent damage. If you look at the damage this thing does, yes, it's got cooldown effects and triggers attack effects, but even at +1, it's doing 210 damage, and this thing's already doing, like, more. If I put this up to here, it's doing 298. Like, this ability hits hard in blue. In red, it's good utility, and it helps enable the rest of its buttons. But for the most part, we're going to do this, and now we should notice, hopefully, a stark contrast in his damage, because we have not been upgrading very much. We should be getting big... Look at that, big blue hit right there. Massive. Big blue, kill the little guys. Can I have that, please? I don't need it, but I'll take it. I might just go in and do a red. Nah, fuck it. We'll do that. Beam him real quick just to top up. He hit me a little bit. Attack? Yeah, take it. If big damage is there, we're gonna take it. Upgrade, lacerate again, and keep moving on our way. I apologize that this is on normal mode. I really wanted to do a hard mode run. But like I said, I'm inconsistent. I'm not good enough with him yet to consistently get results like this. If I got this kind of setup near the end of a hard mode run, I'd think to myself, blessed. But I'm getting this at the beginning of a normal. It's not the best example, you know, of how scuffed these runs can be when I get all these really cool dash synergy, dash focused kind of builds, and it comes together, and ooh, there's my shield. The other shield was there too. Disgusting. Yes. 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 I lean on Frost Shield like crazy. It's my crutch. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. You just don't understand the love that I have for my Frost Shield. They say we could never be, but they just don't understand. Me and Frost Shield go way back. Casting the memory fires out shards. We don't care. Put it in. Actually, what is it? Nah, it's got a 5-second internal. I was gonna say, put it on my lacerate. Actually, do I have something on my lacerate that's just, like, kind of cheeks? Yeah, just do that. It's a very minor thing, but we'll do it. We'll do it. Shop time. Jonas, have something for me, please. An inferior frost shield. What do you take me for? Barrier... Nah... Nah... I mean, damage dealt is increased by 26%. This is genuinely decent. The confidence one is very solid. If anything, I might buy that just to get, you know, a 26% damage boosty. I might even move you out of the way. Should I buy it? Nah. Let's be greedy and look for something else. Ooh, another Swift Slash. Swift Slash +1. I could or should take that instead of Shadow Walk, but honestly, I might keep Shadow Walk for the variety. Yeah, yeah. They're giving me stuff. I feel like maybe there's an internal system. Give me those. We want those. There's an internal system that's giving me higher odds at finding... Ooh, Clemency? Clemency? Is it too late to sell these? I just got them and I want to sell them already. No, take them. I might sell the other gems from the other one. Clemency is very good. We'll sell those off. Move you out the way. Actually, yeah, get rid of you. How much do I need? Another 100 at least? Yeah, okay, just sell that one. Buy Clemency. Put Clemency over here. There we go. Good stuff. We've got Virtue and Clemency. We've actually got some pretty sick gem game going on. At some point, I need to start dumping into Virtue to increase its efficacy, is the word I'm going to go for, but we'll see how we muster. Maybe I can do with just having 2 charges, because we've got a lot of abilities. Sup, Skull? Can use all of these nice abilities that we've got in order to maneuver a little bit. Look at that. Cut him, do one of these, activate my frost shield, maneuver a little bit, maneuver a little bit, cut, dash, cut, dash, cut, dash, cut, dash, do one of these, cut, dash, cut, dash, cut, dash. He's whirlwinding, we get out of the way of that. He's a goon, he doesn't know. I dipped it. See, I dipped into the attack on my dashes. I was trying to kill him before it came out. I beefed. I beefed it. I'm very tempted, to be fair, to start putting them into the gems instead of getting, like, singular upgrades, because the gem upgrades are very nice. Clemency might be very good here. 2% more isn't too much. I want to get this up enough to get it to another charge. If I could get another charge on this thing... Dude, we'd be popping off. Genuinely, I think a fun build idea, if you want to try it at some point, is get a bunch of Virtue on this, upgrade it to get like 4 or 5 charges, and then just mash the shit out of blue. Like, right now I've got 2 blues, you can just... and get like 3 or 4 or 5 of those going back to back. You're immune during it, and you do big damage. But we're focusing on red, so with red, yeah, we could make some do with that, but let's get Clemency up. I want to get some healing in my build, true, because we've got Ice Shield. I'll need to start investing a little bit in Ice Shield when I get to my well. I like investing in Ice Shield to make sure I get like a decent shield on the back end of our build. It's just one of those stupid little things that I like to do. I might go... I want to go up the north, but we could bump through the south. We'll start north. We'll go down. We'll start north and go down. Oh no, not Bam. Not Bam and this stupid goddamn... Oh, the 2-in-1 on the blue hit! Yeah, you gotta be careful, man. Look at all these chaoses over here. Holy shit. Die? I think we handled that fairly well. I was trying to separate them for a little. Who dares? Get shot. Damn, that's a lot of chaos. I love it. Look at that. It's sick. Memory haste ability on that. Give me some haste. Just give me a little bit of haste. A little bit. Ability, memory. Damn. Okay, a little bit of memory haste again. We'll go in order. Let's get the... Holy shit. Stop this. I was gonna say, if you do the same thing again, I could upgrade that quality though. Nah. 17 attack is too good. We need, like, raw attack is exactly what we need. Am I getting jumped? Why am I getting jumped? Stop jumping me. Bleakness. Memories deals more damage to enemies affected by cold, slow roll, something. Do memories affected by cold? Put that in there. Our frost shield does cold damage. We could mess with this a little bit. Ah, damn, the shop's up. I'm broke anyway, who cares? I'm a broke boy, who cares? Anyway. Shield, dash, slash, red, slash. Slash, slash, slash. Big blue, big AoE. Big cuts. Big cuts. It feels good, right? I'm gonna finish the rest of the room, come back for the well. Look at the synergy, dude. Look at us go. Look at us go. This is why I want more virtue. Because all we have to do is start in blue. Dash, slash, red, slash, dash, slash, red, slash, dash, slash, red, slash. You get the idea. And you can just use these two things back and back and back and back and back and back. I think only like one more virtue would be needed. And we could just ignore everything else entirely, except for my ice shield. But we're not going to end up doing that because it's a little bit... I want to say risky. Do the well first and then the doom. The doom is just free upgrades. So we're going to come in here and we're going to well. And if anything... We're going to go big chunky on this. And I can't afford that just yet. Okay. If this backfires, the run is over and I have to restart. And we're back. Kinda, sorta, with a similar build. In fact, freakishly close. I managed to get Clemency and Virtue back on our main ability. It's nowhere near the same level as it was before. We have Metal on here. We actually have some pretty damn good essences on this. We have Swiss Slash with whatever. We have Vile Strike, which is pretty damn good. All of these trigger the crits. We have Purgatory. Who cares? It's here for a baby heal. It's whatever. I'm in third area, roughly the same time. I've bumped it up to a harder difficulty. We're back. This has taken multiple runs to get even remotely close to the same build, just to try and recreate what happened before we lost everything to RNGs. So let's start cutting people up. Do a couple of double blues, do a couple of that, drop some of that, do some of that, do a little Vile Strike over here, do a little bit of this over there. I somehow missed that sword. How the hell do you miss that sword? Come here. Die. Oh dear God. What in the hell? My blues got fucked up. Drop that there. Get a little bit of healing. Double blows. Cut him. There we go. We're making distance. We're making progress. We're doing what we do, man. We're doing what we do. Cut, slash, cut, slash. No, 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 no. Oh, I gotta play this safe. There we go. Gotta play it safe. Something about this guy is that I find myself being able to just kind of go in and be stupid a lot less. Higher difficulty means I gotta be extra careful. Hang on, don't forget to pick that up. We've gone the entire run. Oh, there they are. I was gonna... No, wait, there's one. I've missed the other one. I've missed the third soul. Does not matter. It does not matter. It doesn't matter one little bit. Let's go here first and we can ping around. Actually, I should have gone the other one first. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, doesn't matter, doesn't matter, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, my guy. It doesn't matter. Not one little bit does it matter. The only thing that truly matters is that we are dashing and we are slashing. Where is this guy, by the way? Perish. This bow and arrow dick down here. Ooh. Get ourselves some delightful upgrades, perhaps? Double blues. The heal gem essence in our main move, in our lacerate, means that double bluing to get some healing is not even that bad of an idea. Like, if I just do, we get 4% heal. I haven't upgraded this very much yet. None of these are upgraded. It's a very bare bones return to the build. We're technically in a worse position now than we were in the previous build, but that's fine. That's fine. We don't have to care that much. We just have to progress, advance, and hope for the best. We will definitely die to the final boss with this build. I feel it. I feel it in my bones. But we should at least get to the final boss. That's the important thing. We'll get to him, but we won't kill him. Maybe. Depends. Maybe we can get some good luck on this. As long as we don't have the same thing happen... I can't get past that bloody... I always get stuck on rocks in this area. Like little corners like that. I don't know why, but I always put myself in a really shitty position. What do we have here? Ooh, a clemency upgrade. But besides that, what have we got? No. No, give me the clemency. That's 120%. Yippee! 2% more heal. Amazing, right? It's amazing. I don't think I found enough of the pylons to get the double boss fight. I only found one. Damn, we had a really bad run through Area 3 right now. I kinda sucked this run. Is it White Knight or is it the Dark guy? It is White Knight. I think I know Dark Knight the most. Ow! He says as he just immediately gets... Oh, I double dashed. I made a mistake there. There we go. He says as he fucks up. See, I can still do Purgatory on him and get a heal. It's kind of nice, right? This is the bubble guy, right? Yeah, it's the bubble guy. The bubble boy. Come on, bubble boy. Can I put Purgatory on him and heal from there? Oh my god, I did. Wait, I can Purgatory you from here? Hang on, do that. Let me Purgatory you again, sir. Wow, you a bitch. I was gonna say, I can... There we go. I can do some funnies here and there. Put Purgatory on him. Yippee! Purgatory is kinda cool. You know, I've fought this guy multiple times, beaten him multiple times. I just didn't know that standing here, behind him, behind the big stupid beam, would be a problem. But I learned that it is. I learned the hard way that it is. I am more powerful now, having learned that. More knowledgeable, wiser, even. I am a better person, a better me, a more robust Beelz, one might say. Because I stood here, behind him and the big stupid beam. So who is really the loser here? Me, who stood here, behind him and the big stupid beam, or him, the big stupid beam guy who has made me more powerful by teaching me a valuable lesson that I will put into effect in the future? I think he's the big loser here, really, truly, honestly, not me. Couldn't possibly be me. Fuck! Holy shit! I'm in the wrong... There's no way! I stood in the... No, not again. Either I'm just the worst shell player who has ever existed, or I'm genuinely cursed in this video and I'm not gonna get a good run all the way through to show you, but that's fine, because I think we've illustrated how shell plays and how it can work really, really well, but gets better the more of his upgrades you slot in. And in fact, I've got one of the new ones right now because he's at level 25. We have access to his Annihilation Stance as an ability. And look at this, we get to do all of his normal ability things, and we get to shoot out the blade beam and all that good stuff. And I imagine if you slot in the one that increases his attack speed and all the other things that affect his Annihilation Stance, this just gets even better. Because honestly, being able to press this button and throw out his basics and then chain those basics into other buttons while doing this just helps with the basic attack stuff and getting the right color, you know, activated and coordinated. It's just better synergy. Honestly, I would even go as far as to say maybe something like this could be or should be default, because you can still do the dash crit thing with this active. It's very nice. This feels way better. There is also another mechanic that I'm having a really hard time showcasing because I don't know the timing. But it seems, I don't know if it's a bug or if it's genuine, but there seems to be, right there. There's a timing where if you attack at just the right time after attacking, there's like an Iaido style thing where you get a guaranteed crit after a normal it's very tight. I don't know what this timing is. I don't know if it's mentioned anywhere as an actual thing that he does. If it is, I've missed it. But I have noticed it during runs when I'm doing just regular cuts that sometimes, like right there, I will get it. I've had it happen 2 or 3 times back to back in really lucky circumstances, but it's just a fluke. I have no idea what I'm doing here. I'm just trying different timings to click the button. I don't think it works if you just hold the button in. I think you need to press it at the right time. I don't know what this is. If you know what this is, let me know. It could be a bug. If it's an intended mechanic, then it's not really... I don't know if it's stated somewhere. It might be. I have no idea. But in any case, this is our shell video. Like it or not, it's pretty shit. I don't... I tried to get you a better one. I tried really hard. I promise. It's just... I'm cursed with this character, and it feels bad because I do like how he plays when he's got all of his stuff in, but at the same time, it's just not meant to be. But with all of that said and done, I've got to get out of here because I've enjoyed watching Shell, and I will see you again next time, probably with some Nakia footage. I've not used her yet. I'll come back and hopefully have much nice things to say, and I will see you all again next time. Have a good